Welcome to another edition of Ask the Hub. Today we want to talk about prototyping and especially why prototypes are so important in software development. And for that matter we invited Maciej Kotok. He's the CEO of Evertop and an expert on the topic. Hi Maciej, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great as well. A little bit a pity that the summer is going to an end, but what can you do?
Yeah, you're right. But we will have more time to work, so
yes,
we can be happy.
That's a good point, yeah. First of all, what is a prototype and why is it important?
Okay, so the easiest definition of prototype, of application prototype, it's a schematic way of presenting user interface. So to explain it a little bit more, it's like very simple diagrams or very simple drawings showing how the application will look like at the end. And why is it so important? In my opinion, it's very important because first of all, it's the first moment that the end client, the end user, actually can see how it would look like. And the second thing is it's the moment that you can really try to play with the look and feel of the application. You can really adjust it and you can really talk with your client and try to get some feedback from him about what you've done and verify if it's okay.
So at Evertop you do this quite a bit, right? You do many prototypes. How do you do it there?
Yeah, we are a software development company that provides end-to-end solutions. So when we start, when we cooperate with our clients, we provide them the whole software development services. So we start with the system with the user requirement specification, then we go through analysis, design, coding, development, testing, deployment, and then maintenance. So that's the whole software development process. And the prototyping, it's a part of design phase. So when we start a project, first of all, we need to understand the user requirements. That's the key element of the whole, let's say, journey. And so we need to specify those requirements, and then we make a functional analysis and non-functional analysis. And after that, we came to the stage of the design, and one of the part of it, it's a user interface design. So we start even with drawing it on a piece of paper and starting to design the forms or windows that the application will have. And after that came the most important part of the process. Gathering the feedback from the client. So we present it to client and discuss it with him, and maybe redesign it and then show it once again and again and again. This process can take some time, but it's really worth to make it at this stage because it's much better to correct some mistakes at this moment than when it comes to the end of the software development process, because it's less expensive, more or less 10 times less expensive to correct those mistakes at this stage. I always try to compare software development to building a house. It's really easy to switch kitchen and a bedroom when you draw it on a piece of paper, and it's really hard to make it when the building is already done and you have furniture inside. So if you have a prototype, you can easily adjust it, change, you can play, you can think about different approaches. And it's really hard to make such a things when the application is already done and you've just deployed it on a server. So it's very important to gather the feedback, to discuss it with the client, and to be sure that the design that you have done is what he really needs or what he really wants to have at the end.
So let's go exactly in that direction. The different ways of prototyping. What different ways are there?
We can actually say about two types of prototypes: low fidelity prototype and high fidelity prototypes. And so the low fidelity prototype is a prototype that it's really simple and very schematic, and it's like a wireframe, or even like drawing on a piece of paper with a pencil. It's like very simple. And when we go to the high fidelity prototypes, they more look like real applications. So the graphic is looking, it's better, and it's not a wireframe, but they are real pictures, backgrounds, buttons, labels, and so on and so on. So it looks like almost like a working application. When I will show it to you on my phone or my screen, you probably could not distinguish if it's a prototype or a working application. So of course it's better to start at the beginning with the low fidelity prototype, because it's faster and it's easier to prepare. And if you have more or less the idea how it should look like, and the client has confirmed that it's okay, then you can try to move further and prepare high fidelity prototype to present some different aspects of the prototype. So at the very beginning, the functionality is more important, the user experience is more important, and at the end, the user interface, the graphical user interface is more important. The look and feel, is it nice, is it clean, and so on. So that's the artistic touch at the end.
Where's the future going? So when we take a look at prototypes, how they're evolving, how do you think, what can you expect of prototypes in the future?
I think that the future is that it will be simpler and simpler more. It's okay. There's a bunch of tools that already helps to prepare those prototypes, and I think the development of these tools will go this way, that it will be even simpler than it is now. And the other thing is that converting the prototype from its form to working application will also be easier to do. And there are even now solutions that lets to reuse the prototype, or you take it as a CSS file or some components to working application just like that. So I think that's the direction it will go.
Thank you very much for your insights on the topic of prototyping.
Thank you very much for the conversation. It was really nice to be your guest. And thanks again.
Perfect. And for the viewers out there, if you have questions to Evertop, or when it comes to prototyping in general, please leave them down here in the comments and we are happy to answer them. See you next time.